Good evening, everyone, and welcome tonight to the update live, day number 282. Going to be a full night, and we're so thankful that you are here and everyone's jumping in. We'll give it a little bit of time. Yes, we've got Zhenya just arriving back on that quick run. You guys know that he went down to Zaporozhye, and then he ended up in Kherson. He ended up in Chornobyevka. He ended up in Mykolaiv. He was riding pontoon bridges and acting like a nut. But a lot of good things happened, and you guys are well aware of that. So want to thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of the community in the stream. Talk to the gentleman that is helping us do the shipment out to Poland that we'll be taking into Ukraine in January, and he was excited. So very thankful for him. I'll give him a big shout out tonight, Mr. Mark Reeder. God bless you. Now, with that said, I'm going to ask the moderators tonight, keep an eye on things because the chat, subscribe time to comment lowered a little bit in case somebody's new coming by that they would like to ask a question. So you guys out there moderating, keep your eyes open, and that'll be much appreciated. So welcome to all of you. I see you guys jumping in here from all over the world, all over the United States, and it's a big thank you. As we said, Zhenya with us tonight on this Friday night, day 282, and it's a special night. So here's the deal. If you have a question tonight, because the chat's always rolling back and forth, I'm seeing it here. We're watching everything. If you have a question that you'd like to ask about anything, we're going to get Zhenya to answer it tonight, and thought we would do that on this Friday night. Still have a full update for you, but if you have questions, feel free, put them in the chat. Now, if you have a question, get over to YouTube. Yes, I'm running the Facebook chat integrated here as well, but I can see some of it, not all of it. It's Facebook. So if you have a question you want to ask, make sure you jump in over at the YouTube and pop your question in there. Much appreciated. So without further ado, good morning.
Good evening, friends.
Bud, are you tired?
Yeah, a bit. It's okay.
You just got back. Just got back. And in fact, the message I got back to, he arrived just a few minutes ago, actually. And I got this voicemail from this guy, and it was panting. Oh my. I can't believe the power's off at 4 a.m. He lives on the 16th floor. I've got to unload all my gear and carry it up 16 floors. How's your power right now?
Great.
Is it on?
No internet. No internet. It's still a bit chilly, but it's something, changed for better during 20 minutes.
You've got power back?
Yeah, I got power
Good.
back, but the rest is, yeah.
Good. Got power back, but no internet? Because just a few minutes ago when we were getting him into the stream, there was nothing. So let's jump to it. I'll be watching the chat. Anybody out there, if you have questions tonight, please feel free. Drop them into the chat, and I'll get the man to answer them tonight. Let's start. Let's finish with that one. I was going to talk about that first, but I'm going to change that. Let's go here first. How many refugees are there? 4.7 million Ukrainians are internally displaced. That's inside the country. 14.5 million Ukrainians have gone abroad since the start of Russia's full-scale offensive. And at least 11.7 million people went to the EU countries. 7.7 million are registered in Europe as recipients of temporary protection. You sent this to me earlier today when you were traveling back. We basically can call it 15 million people. And the population pre-war was about 42 million, correct?
Yeah.
42. So
about that. Yeah.
15 million minus, or just subtract that from 42, 27 million
Mhm.
people um, there in Ukraine fighting and hanging on. Rough numbers, but pretty accurate. That's a lot of people. And we're just coming
Yeah,
into the winter.
and as I understand, from 6 to 7 millions at this moment have no electricity minimum.
So out of 25 million left,
Yeah, yeah,
6 million no power
yeah,
right now,
yeah, minimum.
minimum. You were experiencing that when you got home just a minute ago, freezing. Um, let's see here. Let's do this, folks. If you got questions, pop them in here. Two-part question for you, Jania. Are the kids currently going to school with all that is going on? And what do the kids do when they lose power if they are in school? Are kids in school?
Oh,
And if they're in school and lose power, what happens?
okay, during in the 7 days, it depends of the school because our government made a, let's say, give a special freedom for the school, the directors, and for they doing a little bit correcting the plans the way they see it. It depends of the region where school and located, and the situation with electricity. So in a school where my kids are from, they were doing and studying in a lot of times during Saturday, and to not to risk now. So in 7 days they will have a holidays, and it will stay. I mean, they will have a holidays for 30 days. Why? Because there is no stability, especially last month, and this, and usually the school, like, okay, for my kids, the week they going visiting school, and the week they trying, I mean, to be on the distance. But reality is a lot of time internet are, I mean, disappearing, and no electricity. If kids are in school, so the teacher continues continue teaching them, and sometimes giving them a task for homework, and they go home. That's it. But the process goes nonstop. And the
What?
second thing is,
Yes.
yeah, that's it. That's it.
What happens if the
Yeah,
power goes out and they're in school
it depends on situation. It can be the lesson could be finished, and
with no power?
if they getting a homework tasks, and go home. Something like this, and no lessons in a dark time, most of the time in the
And we'll
dark
give
time
you
of the
some
day.
slang tonight. Good evening from Vegas, baby. Thoughts and prayers. Carl Elwell, welcome to you and blessings there. Here we go. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. When central heating plants for a town lose power, how long does it take to get heat to homes again? If power is only for a few hours, is that enough to restart these steam heat plants? So once you're out of
uh,
power, how long does it take to get it going again?
it depends of the system, and it depends how much time it was off. It was like a break. If it was like a break for 4 hours, then it's much easier to get it back. Let's say maybe an hour, 2 hours, and it gets back, like sometimes 3 hours. But if it's like 12 hours or more, then situation, like at this moment, like, yeah, my central heating, I mean, on nothing has changed because I've got power back, but it didn't start yet at all. So like
Okay.
it's, I hope.
Um, with that said, we need to remember that question. I think JDU answered it, um, asked it rather. That's on today's temperatures. You just wait for 45 days when it's minus 20
Yeah,
in mid-January.
correct.
It'll be different then, yes?
Yes, but I all the time when it comes to electricity and the central heating system. Uh, Today, I was in the places this morning where people last time had electricity, 17th of March, and last time they had it, and there are no central heating in those homes in those villages, and a lot of places, some families, old people, there's no glasses in their windows, some carpets, some wool, I mean something, but no glasses. Well, I mean, let's say halfway open.
So this morning when you left the front, you were leaving areas that had no power since March 17th.
Yes, this morning.
Well, let that sink in. So I see the other questions popping in here. We'll go to those in a second. So you may be out there tonight asking, well, where did he come from? Well, he was way down Kherson,
Okay,
but
that's easy.
hold on. You may let me show them, then you say it. Here you go. This is where he came
Okay.
from.
It is romantic. The new tires not necessarily helps when the car is not off-road. At least, so we having some fun here. Yeah. If you have not enough romantic, come to us. It's interesting.
We need those roads to freeze. That's where you came from.
Okay, it was okay. It was the first attempt to get to that village, two villages, and we got advice to go this way. And they said, okay, we're not sure. Let's go and try. We tried. Then we tried the second way, and so the third way we found the route was successful. We got there.
Good. Third time's a
And
charm.
do you want to listen the villages?
Yeah.
I mean the name of villages.
Yeah.
So the villages is Shiroke,
Okay.
Nikolaev Oblast, and Dolina. Червона Dolina.
That's where you were.
It's like, yes, this is two places, and maybe, I mean, the other day I can share.
Yeah.
Pastor Greg already got some video with the mines on the road.
That I'm not
We
allowed
need
to show
to.
yet.
It was the video from Cherokee.
So you were driving in Cherokee, look down,
Yeah.
and there's mines on the road.
Yes.
I do have the
And there is.
video. I just can't show them yet.
Okay. So. And we passed Cherokee and we got to Dolina. And the situation with Червона Dolina, we had a special story, and we gave a promise a month ago or 3 weeks ago to help, and so today we fulfilled it.
Good.
And the other day we will share it.
We will.
We did help people.
We're working on that. Next question, Firecracker 10. This may have already been addressed, so I'm catching up, but I read something about Putin falling down the stairs due to health issues. Is this true?
I don't know.
I don't either. And I'm looking in the
Sorry.
chat. But what's interesting, I'm looking in the chat and people are seeing that, but I'm going to be honest with you. I read and talk to Ukrainian guys all day. I've heard not one thing about that. Have you? Okay.
I was driving all day.
I wasn't. I was here getting ready for tonight. So can't confirm it, but as soon as we hear something about that, we'll let you know. That's mind blowing. Okay, no, that's funny. That's he talking about
Okay.
the mines on the road. Tim Ryder says that's mind blowing. That's funny. It's a play on words. Question for you coming in from Andrea Shove. How's Pastor Rostick doing? Do you live in the same city
Yes.
as him, and do you guys work together?
Okay. Um, we met each other 5 days ago on a place for. I was updating my driver license. He was
Mm-hmm.
opening a new category for the big bus, something. So we have good communication. Uh, and let's say like this, we have, I mean, every church, every organization has a lot of work to do. So it's more than, I mean, we are over, and as I know, they overloaded, let's say, with a lot of things. So not in that trips, but
Yeah.
with a good relationship.
No, everybody's working together. It's just when you're working
Yeah,
together,
no fighting.
you're working in
I
this
mean,
zone, they're
mindset,
working in
you're
this
right.
zone, but we're all working
Yes, and
together.
we were in the beginning of the that war, February, March. We were helping each other a lot, like communicating and cooperating. Mm,
These guys are loving the Putin falling down the steps stuff.
okay.
Well, hey, we'll find out if we'll even get some video if he did it. I don't know, but no confirmations here from what I read all
No.
day and Genia's there, but we'll see. We'll see. You guys are ahead of us today. Um, uh, Another question came in. We'll get that in a second. Um, that one that one messed me up a little bit. All right, here we go. Um, Fighting in the east, of course, shelling nonstop. Kramator, Slavyansk, Bakhmut, that stays the same. Dnipro was struck hard. The hardest strikes today, though, are in Zaporozhye. A lot of destruction done. A power facility was hit in Zaporozhye from S-300s, and Kherson struck again, keeping the power off. Kherson, on, as you said, the Ukrainian side has no power. So those are your four major strike areas today. Of course, the East, it's nonstop.
It's one side of the news. Let's say yes, they continuing attacking us, but there is a good side. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Did you plan it out? There is good news in the
It's coming.
area of Criminal.
Yeah, our our offensive is coming.
It's already a lot of
Well,
good news coming.
I'll tell you what.
If you can,
You talk about
yes.
that because this is full interactive tonight. I'll go here, and let's just do it now. New Ukrainian offensive is coming.
Yes, I would say like this that the weather we have the last day, and we expect next few days, it will be good for us, and our guys are taking some territories back. Ukrainian territories get back to Ukraine under Ukrainian control, and in area of Criminaya, I think it will be the fastest news there. We will get more and more. We already have about the road, main road there,
Mm-hmm.
and we already crossed in two places. Our guys crossed the road there, and then we need to expect Svatove and two more places. I think we just need to hope that Ukraine will get back, our guys will get back our territory back, and 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 we will continue without
Well,
the,
here's the bottom line, and
all
I see
this.
this in the chat. Medic Trevor says, I have a feeling the Ukrainians are going to roll in the cold weather. Most of the Russians will have frostbite in 3 weeks. Yes. In fact, a part of this offensive, they're waiting for ice, actually. They want the ground to completely freeze. Now, that's good for the offensive. It's going to be tough for the Ukrainians having to deal with low temperatures, but it's best for the offensive. So that is spot on. Let me ask you
One
this
of
question. Go ahead.
Let me add to previous. One of the reasons and why do we Ukrainian soldiers having, let's say, feeling themselves much more sure, let's say, or like strong in that area, because not just the world helping Ukrainian army, but Ukrainians volunteers are doing incredible job to support them. 2 days ago, I was in one of the areas giving out the gas burner, the stoves
Mm-hmm.
for cooking on the first, let's say, in the trenches and so on. They were so happy, and they said volunteers are doing incredible job. People of Ukraine doing an incredible job, and they're helping. They have no electricity. They have, I mean, no money. They sharing the things they have. This is why our guys, they feel that behind their backs a lot of big support, and the people believe in them
They
and trust
have
them.
motivation. They feel the love behind them, so it's good. And that's why we're doing what we do, and we'll continue. One of our moderators, Jeffrey Bernard, asked, do Ukraine guys call shotgun for dibs on the front passenger seat? Do you call out shotgun? It's all slang. No, they don't call out shotgun. I'll answer that. Um, but to be honest with you, front seats in Ukraine go in order for the driver and typically the person who's older. That's typically, it's cultural, it's honorable to have a little bit better seat. Also, do Ukrainian kids count Volkswagens on the road? Are Ukrainian kids like other kids? Like kids, you ride down the road and you count cars or
Uh,
play punch bug?
yes, they can. They can. But I mean, today, okay, we've been in the two villages. We were trying to visit as much possible people to find, and during all of that time, we met just one girl, one kid, and then we did ask, and she had a nice, clothes, and a jacket and shoes, and we said, "Hey, are you from here?" She said, "Yes, I just arrived today." No kids there, no internet, no mobile communications, in other places. Not possible to buy a fuel. I mean, really close, and so it's coming. Our guys working nonstop, not like nonstop, but for kids, it's like they are the story.
All
Yes,
right.
they count Volkswagen and Audi and
Okay,
Mercedes
they
and
count the cars. Personal
yes.
question for you coming in from Mark McLaren. My question is personal for PZ. How is he handling all of this mentally? As some days he comes into these updates and you can tell he's had an emotional and mentally taxing day. You know, pretty much at least 5 to 6 days out of the week, you're here for these nightly updates. It's late at night, it's the next day for you, middle of the night. How are you handling the war mentally and personally?
Ah, probably used to a couple things. Sorry, I wanted to add our kids counting HIMARS tanks.
Our kids are counting HIMARS and tanks. That's the answer.
Sorry.
All right. So, how do you do it?
Yes, I don't know how to explain. We're in the war.
Could I help you?
Yeah.
I would probably say there's no other option.
Yes, sure.
I mean,
For
you've
people, for people who couldn't handle it, they left Ukraine.
they left exactly.
If not, they left at least to the some deep, far in the forest, in the mountains, villages. They are renting houses there, trying not to watch the news and just hiding there.
How
Uh,
many hours have you slept approximately in the last 72 hours?
72 hours.
Last 3 days, how much have you slept?
Okay, maybe 12, maybe 9.
8 or 9 up to 12 in 3 days. 4 hours a
Yeah,
day.
because
Okay.
yeah, today was 6 or 5 hours or 6 hours. It was good.
How
The
do
day
people deal
before, yeah,
how are people dealing with the mental issues? It's a similar question due to the war. They're having to leave their homes, be
what
relocated.
area, what age of people, what they are doing, and if they are just watching news and doing nothing, I don't know. If they doing the work we do, that one day you delivering aid to soldiers, the sleeping mats, sleeping bags, and the food and gas burners. I mean, the energy bars, hugging them. Then during, I mean, next 8 hours, you getting information that on their position there was arrival of missile or artillery attack, and half of them died. And it sometimes during the week you hear it twice or 3 times on about different units you visited. It's not easy. Pastor Greg experienced that.
Yeah. We we
We
we
had a lot of
we had to deal with
pictures.
it. Let me pop this in the chat here. Bam. There we go. There you go for the Amazon list. Somebody was asking. Now let's do this. The bravery of the self team and one while our leaders sit at home at night sleeping. Yeah, actually, I like Medic Trevor's comment here, Zhenya, and I think this would be applicable. And this is a military guy. So long as there's a
Yeah.
job and you don't stop, it's all good. The stress comes when you
Yes.
stop.
Yes, that's right. And stress comes as well when you have no communication with the family and the close people. When you at least getting something, you chatting, the calling, and it helps. And yes, you're like, yeah, when you hear like outside on the distance in the front,
Mm-hmm.
and you this day doing nothing to help them, not easy.
All right. I've been avoiding this one. Hey, PG, how is it going? But what about Kanye?
Okay, it's to you.
Oh, no, it's not to me. PG is. All right. Kanye. Kanye West. Okay, so we're going to keep on our polite Christian pastoral roles. But believe me, we can get vicious if we need to. Um, all right. What about Kanye? I actually have video from this because I was going to discuss it with you. Have you seen
Yeah.
this?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who Kanye West is?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who Sean Fuentes is?
No.
He's an activist in the U.S. Um, so this question is referring to um, an interview that happened, and I've got the video. I was going to use it tonight or tomorrow, the next day, but we'll use it now. Q&A. So here's the problem with the world. Here's the problem, and our world, especially those younger generation, listen to the power of the media. And people that are famous have influence. This man was going to run for president. This man just had dinner at the home of a former president a few days ago, as well as Fuentes, the guy that will be doing the interview. So I'm not here going to personally jab at them, but I'm going to show the video, and this is what it's referring to.
In terms of Ukraine and Russia, I haven't really seen so much of that in the news. I'm, of course, pro-Putin. I'm very pro-Russia.
I am also.
Let's go. Yeah.
That's Kanye.
You know, you see that this is just an extension of the United States neocon establishment, New World Order type stuff. That's what they want.
This is the future president you're talking to right now.
Is Nick your running mate?
He's not old enough. What does Putin say about America's value system?
So he said in a speech when he annexed those two breakaway provinces and he annexed the Donbass, he said in a speech that we have totally abandoned traditional values, traditional faith, and that we've actually embraced full-on Satanism. And he's totally right. And
well, it's true. America's embracing Satanism. Say like you like the uniforms, but that's about it.
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things. Hey, like
I'm tired of hearing I'm a Nazi. I'm really, because I'm not. But I think by them falsely accusing people, some people are going to become Nazis.
I am. Now what? I am.
You're
now
what?
Now I'm a Nazi, Ari Emanuel. Isn't that?
This is what he's referring to. You probably didn't hear it. I'm going to play one more clip because I'm pushing the envelope with this one. But here's the problem that I have with this stuff. These people are very influential, and people that are younger, listen to them. And the second issue I have is Kanye West sitting here with that jacket on and the mask over his head. And we know that right after this, if you were wondering why Kanye West got banned from Twitter again, this is the reason right here. But Kanye West, the next clip I'm going to show you, look in front of him. Holy Bible sitting right there. Look closely. Holy Bible in front of this clip.
And now people are like, wait a second, the so-called crime doesn't deserve the punishment. What did I thought?
Well, that's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love, us. And you can love what we're doing to you with the contracts. And you can love what we're pushing with the pornography. But this guy that
Bible
invented highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a musician. You can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good. And I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler. How about that one? Ari Emanuel, how you like that one? Hey, Ron, you going to do anything to fix Chicago?
Well, CNN says white people are evil Nazis, so, I mean, I disagree with both statements, but I get the pros.
I don't like the word evil next to Nazis. I think we need to look at...
Oh, my goodness. Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. But look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
Oh, man. Well, I have to disagree with that. You said he loved Hitler. They gave him an award. I'm just saying, I don't like Nazis, and I don't like what some of the mafias are doing either.
I like Hitler.
So, Jacob, this is my problem. That's why that question came out there. I've had these clips. They came in today. Can you believe that even comes out? I try to tell people all the time that people are so confused about this war, and there's so many people, unbelievable, America and rest of the world combined, that are pro-Russia, pro-Putin. They're clueless because of influential people like this. Somebody will see that on TikTok, okay? And now, well, they must be right. It's Kanye West.
Okay. I wouldn't like to go like deep in that because it will take a long time. And 2 days ago, you will understand later why I got the one man was quoting a verse from the Bible, and it was Matthew 5:40. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your short, hand over your coat as well. And it was from the one of the head of the unions of Protestant church when it was discussing. I mean, not discussing. It was a sermon, and he was mentioning it was to Ukraine and about Crimea and so on. That according to the Bible, and I don't want to go there deep, but there is it. Why it's not possible to disconnect the Putin, from the Russian church and from the war, and they all the time they're repeating, "God with us."
You're leading.
In what?
You're leading me right into the next question, and I see another question down here from Tom P. We'll get to that in a minute, but I need to go here. Tim Ryder says Putin is a Russian Orthodox, which is a KGB arm of the Kremlin. Okay, now that leads us to what Zelensky did today. And these are this is real. And I'm going to show you some more stuff in a moment. This whole thing, and it's interesting how the questions work together, but even dealing with the Kanye madness, and I really appreciate what Donald Gentilini says here. This is a disgrace for America that these evil people have a voice in our political system. Americans, we have tolerated this evil to be promoted in our culture. Christian nationalism brings this evil. I agree with that 100%. Now, with that said, Tim Ryder makes the comment about Moscow, KGB, Kremlin. Today, I need you to break this down. Zelensky came out dealing with the Orthodox Church in Ukraine, blocked some things or forbid some things connected to the Russian Orthodox Church. All this is connected. After that, I've got a couple of clips I'll play in a moment of how they went crazy in Russia because of this. Now, what can you tell us? Because it's written there in Ukrainian. I've got Putin and Patriarch. What can you tell us? What is going on with Zelensky, Ukraine, the Orthodox Church, the Russian Orthodox Church, and how, as you and I have said from day one, that this is a holy war? No matter what you call it, it's a holy war, and we're watching that unfold even more and more and more as these narratives are coming at day 282. So what's happening between Ukraine and Russia and all this stuff? You explain it.
Okay, I share my thoughts and what I can. I mean, just maybe shortly, but there is an Orthodox Church in Ukraine, and there is, let's say, two main branches, and one branch is Ukrainian Orthodox Church, and other branch is it had a name, Ukrainian Orthodox Church of Moscow Patriarchy, which means it's a Russian church, Russian Orthodox Church in Ukraine. It means that the head of this church, all of these churches, is in Moscow, in Russia. It's a Patriarch Kirill. Patriarch Kirill supports Putin and supports the war against of Ukrainians, and they're praying for Russia would get their territory, new territory, and their army would kill all these Nazis, how they call us, and because we speak our language, not Russian, and so on, and so surely this church were working. The ministers of this church were working for Russian interest, but years it was like, let's say, partly hidden, or nobody wanted to touch it. Finally, it was almost together. We have a website, official website, and for petitions. And when the petitions getting over 25,000 people's requests, like signatures of confirmed signatures, then the president he has a look at this. So it was a petition about, let's say, checking the Russian Orthodox Church and maybe to think about how it's possible that we have a religious organization which is preaching not a Christ but preaching Putin, and it's nothing about what church is doing. And so, make it short, our security service of Ukraine made searches in the Kiev region, Russian Church, Orthodox Church, in Ivano-Frankivsk area and Rivne, and they found and the booklets and a lot of information, printed information, with the with the recommendation how to support Russian world in Ukraine, how to share and make people. It was a propaganda messages of how Russian church in Ukraine has to be a propaganda centers. And with a lot of that confirmation of supporting aggressor, which is Russia, and the terrorists, which after getting proofs, they made the decision concerning these areas, and they continue initiated to check main centers of it. And one of the main centers already, it's Kievo-Pечerska Lavra, which is in Kiev. It's like a very old monastery. It was like a headquarter of this Moscow church. Already, officially, was transferred to Ukrainian Orthodox Church. That's it. And to be honest, I was waiting for this kind of things years, because it's craziness, and it doesn't matter what name of the church. When the church is saying, let's pray for the war, let's pray for Ukrainians who would die, and the terrorists would get it all. I don't want to comment that. It makes me like mad, to be honest. But it's so after the law and these situations, it's a lot of things happening around that. The main supporters of and the contact people of Patriarch Kirill in Ukraine, who was doing a propaganda work against of Ukrainian army, against of Ukraine, against the sovereignty of Ukraine, they got under sanctions, and I believe this is just the beginning. Don't want to comment that a lot. It's just the other side of the war.
The bottom line is, and Ricochet had put it in the chat here, they were finding documents, they found supporting evidence and how they were supporting Russia in the war, providing aid, and it's terrible. So Zelensky came out. Yeah.
It was a centers, most famous and most the biggest centers of Moscow Church in Ukraine, and the most influencing bishops, priests. They proved it. They found it. They said that's enough. It's
Let
not
me ask
about
you a question, and this has nothing to do with the Moscow Patriarch or the Ukrainian Orthodox Patriarch, but just in general in Ukrainian culture, how influential is the Orthodox Church with people? Just in general, it's not
a lot.
A lot. Okay.
It's a lot. It is not even, hard to explain and to compare it for people outside. But it's like we have a lot of churches, but it's like a main church. Like
power.
Really. Yeah, they have the power.
So in last 24 hours, this has been unfolding, and I knew I didn't want to tackle this one on my own. Although I've been in the Russian Orthodox churches, I've been in the Ukrainian Orthodox churches, but I wanted him to explain it. Now, what has happened though since then, in the last 24 hours in Russia, they've been responding like madness, because to them, this is the straw that breaks the camel's back, meaning you now, Zelensky, have come against the holy Orthodox Russian Church Patriarch, father of all that is good. You are the Antichrist. You are evil, and everyone that supports Ukraine is evil. And it's, this is our Q&A night, and it's kind of interesting how all of these stories came together, whether it's that Kanye madness or this story. It just plays to the fact that I believe that we're in a holy war. So let's listen first to Solovyov.
Сатана же отец лжи. И когда эти сатанисты в тот же самый момент, когда они убивают православную церковь, начинают лгать. Им вторят немецкие сатанисты, которые говорят, вот голодомор. Ничего не понимают. Вообще немцы, рассуждающие о массовых преступлениях, ну это как, я не знаю, это как себе представить, это как людоед, осуждающий существование мясного ресторана. Ну это совсем. То есть немцы, которые вообще молчать должны еще столетиями и каяться, что-то о себе возомнили. Эти-то куда? То есть они пытаются сейчас на нас переложить грехи, которых не было. Да, был страшный голод. Только напомню, что первый реальный голодомор был в Польше. Там же было, но тогда землях, которые находились украинских в оккупации. А напомню здесь, кто тогда проводил этот голодомор? Украинцы? Они же во власти были. А что, там подходили, говорили, ты какой национальности, мы тебе дадим хлеб или мы тебе не дадим хлеб?
Хлеб изымали те же соседи.
Извините, а почему вообще Россия должна была продавать зерно? Не потому ли, что американцы отказались брать оплату даже в золоте, а требовали именно зерно, чтобы со своим голодом бороться? Но правда же никого не интересует.
Now, this was the first response. Solovyov just starts talking, Satanist, the mass crimes out of Germany, making the comparison. That was step one. Let me play step two, and then we'll get your response. So his response was first. Then the next program came on. Man, it's unbelievable. I've got it right here.
Понимаете, я никогда не думал, что настолько Зеленский осатанеет. Вот
вы правильное слово употребили. Но вот когда вы сказали про сатанизм, мне кажется, что вы глубоко правы. И делать это могут только те, как вы сказали, которые поклоняются совсем другому, врагу рода человеческого.
И, к сожалению, Зеленского и его политику поддерживают не только США, а именно благодаря поддержке США вот это происходит в Украине. Это катастрофа. Это просто катастрофа.
Сейчас, Арек.
Хочу продолжить эту тему болезненную, очень такую религиозную, психологическую, народную тему, да, и надо акценты ставить конкретно и не стесняться. Я думаю, православная церковь должна провозгласить Зеленского как официально приход антихриста. Официального антихриста. Этот человек с точки зрения православия, это классический антихрист. Мы должны забыть фамилию Зеленский. Надо называть просто Зеленский это антихрист, и ее действия, и фактически, и там, значит, практически, и документально. Он оформил это. Он с дьяволом заключил договор, и он притворяет в жизнь то, что он заключил. Здесь не может быть никаких там, знаете, вот дипломатии, там, значит, это самое, фамильярность там и так далее. Мы должны понимать, что это идет уничтожение православия. Уничтожение, искоренение.
Арак, я с вами не соглашусь. Слишком вы льстите Зеленскому, называя его антихристом. Он такой, знаете, маленький чертеночек, но не более того. Соответственно, он на службе антихриста, да. Он вкладывает булыга за булыгой.
Дорогой мой, это столько моря крови, столько украинской крови, столько раскол церкви. Это может не какой-нибудь чертенок. Как раз это и есть антихрист. Добить надо этого антихриста.
Слишком высоко цените Зеленского. В кавычках, конечно, высоко.
Absolute madness. But it's connected. It's all connected to how powerful this narrative is. It's all connected.
Yes, and there were a long preparation for this period of life of Russia and Ukraine in this war. And yes, if to try to explain why you killing kids and old people, and you're attacking hospitals, you're sending your missiles to schools, so they have to give more and more reasons to their people, and yes, the craziness on a super level, but I don't know how to comment that. It's
I think this is
For
great
me,
right here. Tim Ryder says, always accuse your adversary of doing what you are doing. That's Joseph Goebbels, Nazi
mhm,
propagandist.
yes,
And there
and
goes Rick Berry
so,
at Tim
yeah,
Ryder. You nailed it. You really did, sir. The point being, we were letting questions and answers drive our conversation tonight, but there was no way with all of this unfolding that it wouldn't wind into here. Um, let's change gears. Tom P., I want to make sure the ones that do ask questions, we get to them. We can agree the church mess, the orthodoxy, the schism, the Christianity, whether it's the Kanye West with the Bible in front of him screaming about I love Hitler and Nazis, and or the madness we just witnessed, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. And for people that do not think it's connected to a large spiritual story, you're sadly mistaken. I saw in the chat earlier, it's down many pages now. It's somebody asked a question: is the China influence connected, or what's happening in China? Possibly connected to the war between Russia and Ukraine? The answer to that is 100%, absolutely, without question, absolutely. North Korea, China, Iran, Iraq, Israel, Turkey, Syria, EU, of course, Russia, Ukraine, United States. It's all connected. Every bit of it is connected, and it's ugly. Tom P. asked this question. Although Ukraine is receiving help, though not enough, how do Ukrainians feel about the failure of countries to support them after giving up their nukes, which has obviously aided this invasion?
oh, I will not answer for Ukraine first, and I would say a lot of Ukrainians are really thankful for. We wouldn't make it until today without the help. And this is reality, and from all the sides, helping people, our people, meeting them on the borders, helping changing some even local laws. Like I was taking people without documents, any international documents, and the border guard of European country was asking, please, could you pronounce your name and the family name? Yes, one more time. I will repeat, correct if I hear it right. And she's repeating, then she goes, issuing a document, temporary document, according that, having Ukrainian document and really thankful, and really thankful to all people, to all who support now, and for all it's my personal, about the failure. Yes, I think it's just, there is a lot of reasons why it's not just slowing. There is blocks in a lot of places because war could be over already.
Yes.
With in reality, and we would be restoring our infrastructures, houses, and people were getting back. But no, in this moment we fight on other level, because the slowing of helping making Russia every day bigger and bigger military factory of manufacturing tanks and the missiles and the other armor, whatever.
All the countries
Plus,
that have or near having nukes are seeing Ukraine as a lesson they must not forget. Never give them up.
yes, this is the other big, let's say, topic to talk. Reality is any guarantees which is not working. Ukraine officially confirmed it was one of the biggest nation who did that. giving out our nuclear weapon to Russia with guarantees from the other countries. And now it's the Russia already occupied about more than 20% of our territory. It was over 30. We fighting with the things we have, and then this time people still having a business with that country, with the Russia and so on. So like,
Well,
if
look here.
it not stopped, we will have 10, 20, 30 countries with a nuclear weapon. It will create it, plus country like China, they will increase their nuclear heads, like on their missiles, 3, 4, 5, 10 times comparing to the
Absolutely.
quantity they have. And it's
Absolutely. Well, it comes to this. Here's Hungary blocking EU 18 billion loan to Ukraine. They said because it just doesn't represent the values that we should have in the EU. That's Orban. Of course, him and Putin are buddies. So how does this happen? Well, you have nations like this. You have the madness that we witnessed tonight, even coming out of the United States. Okay. Kanye West had more followers on Instagram, on Twitter than anybody. Period. So you think that's an influential voice when he states the things he does? Of course he does. This is a part of the problem. This war's much bigger than Russia and Ukraine. We're focused on Ukraine. We're going to throw all of our support there every day and help. But this is century stuff, hundreds of years activities. This is not some skirmish on a border somewhere. This is a global changing event, and we're in the middle of it, and it affects all nations. Now, here's a man that worked in the former Soviet Union, America, and he said 2 methods USSR used, and believe me, this man knows. He worked in the Soviet Union. Forbid religious expression and freedom, or allow it and control it to promote the expansion of the Soviet Union. The latter is being used right now. It's spot on. So we deal with that mess. Yeah. I mean, Skeghead. Scary to see. I just love his name, Skeghead. All countries that are watching are wondering how much U.S. security assurances are worth. See Ukraine. Yeah. And I hate to say it, I love America, my great. I bleed red, white, and blue. I bleed blue and yellow with you right now. But my grandfather was a decorated World War II veteran. My grandfather was standing on the Tin Can destroyer when the sub rose up in the Cuban Bay Missile Crisis. I've got so many friends and family members that are decorated veterans. There are people in this chat. We love our country. We love your country. We love our world, but it's sad right now, and it's very challenging. And Jeka, who could believe it? We were here.
Okay.
Think about this. 282 days ago, we were sitting here just having a chat on my other program, and the missiles started flying. Now, 282 days later, we're still sitting here.
Yes, and that I remember the first days really clearly, and I remember today 8 morning, the man was saying he lives without the doors, without electricity since March 17. He was sharing and telling me and pointing the places which neighbors were killed how. And he said, probably the worst, I did ask him, what was the worst time? He said, the March. Because there were days when we had over 90 arrivals of artillery to our village per day.
Just leveling
90.
it.
And then the other people saying, we support Putin.
Yeah,
Come on.
it's tough.
And as for me, I'm proud that I can take the warm pillow to that man, the food, and saying, we're staying with you, and not just a part of Ukraine. People from all the places of the world. Here is the grain, here is the sugar, the tea, and the warm blanket, and we will come back and help.
That's why.
This is my war.
Yes, and that's why I love being there with you, and will be in about a month. Just letting these people know that they're cared about, and we're just a face representing a lot of people in this community, in our church, in our churches, that have given a ton of money and are constantly buying things on our Amazon list, and they need to see it. They need to see it, that we're there. And it's vitally important. And to be honest with you, that's what Christian ministry is, period.
Yeah.
That's what Christian ministry is.
On the bank of the 3-4 kilometers from Russian positions, we got to some streets. We got information. People never get any humanitarian help from Ukrainians, and they were occupied. It was close to Kherson. And we got there, and I was coming. I have video of that. I was coming, and then the one grandma, I did ask, hey, is it true that you never never receiving some help with like humanitarian help aid, for you? She said, oh, you're kidding. Who are interested in that? I said, probably God heard your heart. We're here.
Exactly.
She said, what, really? And we were bringing something to her. And she said, oh, yes. And we got understanding for them. They said, oh, thank you. They were, I hope I will send a lot of things you will hear and see. They said, but sorry to ask, thank you for all. Do you have candles?
Do you have candles? We smile about it, but
and I
was thinking about candles. I'm going to add them to the Amazon list, those long burning candles. Give a big shout out to Skeghead. Then we'll show one more video. Zhenya, this has been awesome. I think and talk to people about Ukraine daily. This guy is in the outback in Australia, sending support and love. Just wish there's more I could do. In fact, I'm going to give Skeghead a shout out because he had messaged me privately. His wife is a streamer, and could they do something and raise some money on their stream and donate to Ukraine? And the answer is absolutely yes. Peter, welcome, bud. I heard Putin fell down the stairs today. Dude, they're so far ahead of us. We're working on that one. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you for continuing to support Ukraine. There's old Orban there, right here. Continue to stand with Ukraine. Much appreciated. Now, we've talked about some heavy topics today. All this mess, kind of been deep. You guys have been asking Zhenya questions. It's been an awesome update. But I'm going to send you out with a smile tonight. It's snowing in Ukraine. How are the Ukrainian soldiers dealing with some of the first snows? Well, got some video, and here you go. And my opinion, people think I'm crazy, but I'm not. That's why Ukraine's going to win the war right there. People of character, people of love, people of care. Light does defeat darkness, and good does defeat evil. Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
Makes you proud, don't it?
Yeah.
I can't wait to
Sure.
get there and run around in the snow with some of those tanks. It's going to be fun. And I love this message JDO pops up every night at the end of the stream. Pray for those that are cold and scared tonight.
Yeah.
True.
And yeah.
All right, boss man.
That's it.
You
Yeah.
need to go to bed.
Thank you.
Let's see, 5:06 a.m. 5:06
Thank you.
a.m. After driving back in from the front lines. Thank you, guys. Awesome, awesome stream. Get some sleep, boss. We'll talk to you tomorrow. And tomorrow night, we're going to get some of this video together and show it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you. A good night to all.
To a good night.